Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about one of the most innovative handguns that has come out in recent history. I've talked about the handgun here on the channel before, but today's video is a little bit different. The gun that I want to show you today is a gun that I fell madly in love with. I've been following it since its earliest development when it was first announced. I got to see it over in Germany, and then I had the good luck to be able to play with one and shoot one here on the Military Arms channel. The gun that I'm talking about is the Lago Arms Alien Pistol. This handgun, I'll put a link down below to other videos we've done on the handgun, talks about how it functions, things that it's related to in terms of its development, all that good stuff. But this handgun has some really unique features that no other handgun really has, at least in a complete package like the Alien Pistol. And Lancer Systems is bringing it in, but they're about to stop. And that's what today's video is about. So if you want to pick one of these handguns up, I'm going to put a code down below. It's called MAC20, and it'll get you 20% off if you want to pick up one of the Lancer Systems Alien Pistols. Again, MAC20. So that will give you an opportunity to grab one of these. Now let's talk about what makes it so interesting to me, because this handgun is like nothing else I've ever shot, and it's truly innovative. And it's one of those handguns that a lot of folks would probably have a lot of fun shooting. The only downside is they're really, really expensive. But if you chip away 20%, it becomes a little bit more palatable if you'd like to grab one. Look how flat that gun shoots. There's nothing else like this handgun. The closest I've ever come is the H&K P7, but even it has more recoil than this gun, but this is a much bigger gun. Let's talk a little bit more about the Alien Pistol. So let's talk about some of the things that make this handgun absolutely incredible. So first of all, you'll notice how deep this gun sets in my hand. All right, and despite the fact that it sets so deep in my hand, I don't have to worry about getting slide bite. Now, perhaps if you have a slightly meatier hand that might push up towards the rear here, you might have a problem, but you still have quite a bit of clearance there, even for those of you with meatier hands. But I could see that probably happening with somebody with real chunky hands. But the handgun sets super, super low. And then if you take a look inside of the gun, I'm going to go ahead and load it here. If you take a look inside of the gun, look how far down that case is inside of the action of the gun. Typically, when you load a semi-automatic pistol, the round is setting much higher up in the grip frame. This is setting really, really deep down inside of there because the entire gun is basically inverted. The barrel is as low as you can possibly get it into an automatic pistol, and the gas system is on top of the barrel. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. So not only can you get a really, really low grip on this thing because of its gas delay system and the weight of the gun, it's an all-metal pistol, it really, really has one of the most muted recoil impulses and the least amount of muzzle rise of any 9mm I've ever fired. So that is like nothing else I've ever fired. So that makes it really, really cool. On top of that, because the slide moves down here, the top of the frame is stationary, you can quickly swap out iron sights for red dot sights just by pushing a pin out, and you don't have to worry about the red dot sight moving and being affected by recoil forces because it stays stationary. Now that does present some interesting challenges if you have the red dot sight affixed, and we'll talk about that when it comes to charging the weapon. But when it comes to like competitive shooting, things like that, there really isn't many handguns out there. There aren't many handguns out there that feel and shoot as well as this one does. I would say that some of the CZ competitive pistols are pretty close. They have a pretty low bore axis. They're all metal, about the same size as this, but they use Browning actions, and this delayed gas system really helps to tame that recoil. It's an incredible system. I'd like to thank our friends over at Federal for supplying the ammunition free of charge to the channel for today's video. I've been shooting Federal ammunition ever since I was a kid. Outstanding stuff, great people, very patriotic, all-American company. Love Federal ammo. So with the Alien Pistol, it is very easy to disassemble the gun. So I'm going to drop the magazine out, which is already out. lock that slide to the rear, make sure the weapon is empty. Remember, you have to look way down inside that ejection port because the barrel sits so low in the action. Then you can pop that front pin out and push on that top bar, and that comes off. That is your hammer right there. And then on top of the gun, you can see how the mechanism works. There's the slide, and here's your gas piston and recoil spring. Now, look at how cut out this slide is. Very low reciprocating mass. Another benefit of having the red dot sight on this fixed piece is that it reduces the amount of weight that's reciprocating when the gun cycles. That helps to keep that muzzle from rising. The more mass that you have moving back and forth, the more the gun's going to want to move. So it's very minimalistic. If you take a look at a pistol like the Glock, for example, well, this is a Shadow Systems. It has the red dot sight affixed to the slide. So when the slide cycles, the whole slide plus the weight of the sight is moving back and forth. And so that can disrupt your sight picture. The Lago Arms pistol just has the slide moving, and whatever red dot sight you put on it will not change the way the gun works here. I'm going to go ahead and throw this back on here. And then if I open up the case, this is the case that comes with the gun, has all sorts of goodies in here. Cleaning equipment, spare magazines, nice cutout for the Alien pistol. And then over here, I have my red dot sight upper. I'm going to go ahead, take that pin out, put that on there, give it a tap with the palm of my hand. That quickly, I now have a red dot sight. Now, what I was talking about earlier, generally speaking, with handguns like this Shadow Systems that has a red dot sight on it, that red dot sight becomes a benefit in that I can use this to run the action of the gun just by hitting it. Have that big ledge there. So with the Alien, that doesn't work because it doesn't reciprocate. So now you have to charge the weapon either from the forward slide serrations, which are very aggressive, or you have to reach around behind and pull the slide like that to operate the slide. The only downside. To me, that's not that big of a deal. Again, this gun is primarily intended for competitive shooting, but another version of this gun also exists that has a threaded barrel. So you can actually put a suppressor on it. Would I carry this gun for self-defense, keeping it clean, things like that? Absolutely. I've had very, very good luck with this handgun in terms of reliability. The only downside is that it's all metal. It's a big full-size handgun, and it's a little bit heavy, but it could certainly be carried. I carry 1911s. And this probably doesn't weigh much more than a 1911 until you load up its magazine with 124 grain ball rounds, and then it's going to get a little bit heavier than a 1911. But yeah, very, very cool pistol. Outstanding ergonomics, G10 grips in here, good texturing on the back and on the front. This one is a two-tone with the flat dark earth lower and the dark upper. You have 1913 rail underneath here for accessories. And as I've already shown you, you can swap out that top piece and move between iron sights and red dot sights. All right, let's go do a little bit of shooting with it with red dot sight because this is my preferred configuration. All right, so watch this red dot sight. It doesn't move. This thing has an incredibly good trigger in it. It's an all metal trigger. It does have an inertial safety on it, what I like to call the dingus, but you take it up, right there, it hits the shelf, you push past that, it breaks. Go ahead, drop it down, and then release. You can feel that reset, heard it, felt it, very positive. That's full release right there. So there's not much slack to take up. That's why I can shoot it so quickly, and no over travel. Once it breaks, the trigger stops. Absolutely a beautiful piece of work. It almost feels as though this thing's hand-fitted, given the price of around $6 grand. It probably is hand-fitted. This particular version of the Alien pistol came with this holster in the box. So you can get holsters for them. My coat's in the way here. It locks in nice and tight. It's a competition holster. If you want something for concealed carry, you'd have to probably get a custom holster, which I'm sure you can find them out there. The controls on the gun are very good. They're located in a perfect spot, even for my large hands. The slide stop stays out of the way. The thumb stays below it, so I don't get the gun not locking open the last shot fired. You have a nice large magazine release on the gun. It feels a little thick, but for my large hands, it actually works really, really well. It doesn't feel overly thick. Now, if you have really small hands, you might have a problem with it. Here's one of the 17-round magazines. Really, really smooth shooting handgun. The high-vis sights are really easy to pick up, and it has a very natural point of aim. You just want to shoot it fast. It's one of those handguns that really, really lends itself to extreme speed, and I'm sure somebody like Jerry Michlik could shoot this thing so stinking fast that it would almost seem like one continuous gunshot. It can be shot very quickly because it has a very quick lock time. This slide cycles very quickly, much faster than other guns like the 1911, even the Glock. So it does cycle very quickly, has that very light, crisp trigger, which allows you to shoot quickly and accurately, and because of the design of the gun, keeps that muzzle down. So I could see this thing doing really well in competitive circles, and yeah, again, I would carry it for self-defense just because I like odd and unique things, and the Alien pistol is both odd and unique, and I love the thing. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Lancer will no longer be the distributor for the Alien pistols, and so that's why they're offering that 20% discount. Now, Lago Arms is setting up its own importation and own distribution here in the United States, taking it away from Lancer. I've been told that there's a good possibility the prices will go up on the pistols. So now if you want one, this is the time to get one. Even if the prices don't go up, getting it for 20% off isn't likely to happen again anytime soon. If they do increase the prices, that's going to make that 20% off even more palatable. So if you're in the market for one of these, really is the time to do it. The code is MAC20, and you pick them up while they last with Lancer, and after that, they go to the new importer, Lago Arms USA. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're interested in the Alien pistol, check them out. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel, the best way to do that is to become part of our Patreon family. There's a link in the video description below. Also, right here on YouTube, you have that little thank you button and the join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Mash either one of those buttons and you can support us right here on YouTube. And last but not least, please swing by, check out Copper Custom. Thank you for 15 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Oh yeah, entirely too much fun.